Hey everyone. In a recent video, we talked about 5 things Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is getting right, but today we need to look at the other side because honestly, despite how much I love the potential here, some recent changes have me pretty concerned. Let's dive into the 5 things Pantheon is getting wrong and why I think they need to be addressed before it's too late. Number 5, macros. Macros in Pantheon are weird right now. On the one hand, they're too powerful. You can automate most of your rotations and practically AFK in some groups. On the other hand, some features that would make macros useful, like targeting party members by slot instead of name, are broken. Instead of giving players smart conveniences, macros end up enabling lazy or even borderline exploitative behavior. And since there's no effective limit on macro length or time, you can set up a giant automated sequence and walk away from your keyboard for minutes at a time, hurting the active social gameplay that Pantheon is supposed to encourage. Meanwhile, if you're using macros to streamline your buffing, you're stuck manually reworking your macros every time your group changes because the broken targeting by number. It feels like the worst of both worlds. Automation where it hurts gameplay, but missing convenience where it would help make grouping smoother. Macros could be a great system. Right now, they're a big mess. Number 4, crafting. When you first step into crafting, it's honestly overwhelming. You don't even know what you're doing. Once you dig deeper, the complexity underneath is actually pretty nice, but the problem is a lot of players are going to pick a crafting skill, get confused, and just give up. Even the external guides that exist aren't great. And honestly, I can't blame the guide makers. Crafting feels like it's in such an early state that making detailed guides right now would just be a wasted effort because major changes are clearly needed. There are a ton of components and complex recipes, but there's no in game way to tell what you're about to craft. You either trial and error your way through recipes or you alt tab and hope to find a decent guide. For a game that's all about old school without old school pain, this is a huge miss to me. Discovery should be exciting, not confusing and punishing. There's just too much guesswork in crafting right now. Number 3, gear balance. The more I play, the more frustrating the loot system feels. Most gear has no level requirement, meaning twinked out alts can completely outshine well played, fresh characters. That sounds fine until you realize it creates unfair expectations. The last enchanter could mez 4 mobs, why can't you? Well, maybe because the last enchanter was wearing level 40 gear at level 10. And even when you do find level appropriate loot, it often has bizarre stat allocations. Strength and dex on cloth armor, int on leather. Cloth wearers can only wear cloth. Plate wearers, on the other hand, can wear any type of armor. Because of this, lots of classes end up wearing lower armor types just to get the stats they want, choosing leather or even cloth for better bonuses. But cloth wearers don't get that luxury. If it doesn't drop on cloth, they simply can't use it. It gets worse because sometimes the gear is technically an upgrade, but because it has strange or confusing stats, players don't even realize it's an upgrade and pass on it. Instead of feeling excited to find new loot, you start recognizing pieces you've seen dozens of times, and it turns the loot experience from exciting to disappointing. It's one thing to have imperfect gear, it's another to constantly loot junk that no class would reasonably want. Number 2, broken classes. Recently, they moved away from weekly patches, and I think that was a good decision in general. Bigger patches less often. Unfortunately, a recent patch broke multiple classes to the point of being nearly unplayable. The official response? We're breaking some eggs to bake a cake, and you'll have to live with the mess for now. No timeline for fixes, no clear plan. And unlike the limited test windows with large amounts of downtime between, players now have permanent access that they have paid for. And if your main is broken, you're just stuck. I know some people will say it's beta, just deal with it. And sure, early access comes with growing pains, but when players paid to be here, the standard needs to be higher. I don't expect patches to be perfect. Things will break, that's part of testing. But when a major issue arises, there needs to be urgency, transparency, and action. At a minimum, if a patch leaves classes broken, the change should be rolled back until a more complete solution can be delivered. Otherwise, players who were excited enough to pay for early access might just walk away and may never come back. Number 1, the exposed system overhaul. This was actually one of my top 5 good things in Pantheon until they gutted it. Originally, one class would trigger expose, a different class would exploit it to apply a powerful debuff. That class couldn't cause expose itself, they had to rely on teammates. Instead, they might cause off balance or open gap for someone else to take advantage of. It created real synergy. It rewarded coordination. It felt like true group gameplay. But now, everything has been collapsed into just expose. Everyone can cause it, and everyone can exploit it. Instead of encouraging teamwork, it's now causing players to step on each other's toes. I might plan to trigger expose and exploit it to debuff magic defense, but at the same time, someone else is trying to use it for a physical debuff. Because only one expose can be active at a time and it gets consumed when exploited, whoever casts their ability first wins. The second player just wastes time, mana, and opportunity for no effect. It used to reward group synergy, now it's a race against your own teammates. This system went from one of my favorite features of Pantheon to something so messy that honestly, I think it would be better off removed entirely. I'm still rooting for Pantheon, but some of these changes and design choices are a real step backward from the stuff that got people excited in the first place. If they can address these issues, I still believe the game could be something special, but right now, it's at a real crossroads. Let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check me out live on Twitch, link in the description. Have a good one.